It was her first time taking a rideshare. And she froze in shock. What she saw next terrified her to the core. She watched her best friend get drugged by a strange man, rough and fast. Fear gripped her instantly. She didn't dare make a single sound, but the bald man just sat there, not making his next move, so she made a risky decision. She carefully gripped the door handle, ready to jump out, but the second she moved it, something awful happened. The bald man stared coldly at Anna, then quickly pulled on a mask. Before she could even react, he lunged at her. When the girls woke up again, they were locked inside a small room, and the creepy driver who kidnapped them walked in, carrying a chair, dressed in all black with thick-rimmed glasses. He even seemed to have a germ phobia. Before sitting down, he carefully wiped the chair with a handkerchief, a creepy, refined kind of menace. The three girls sat there, anxious and confused, while the bald man studied them with sharp, piercing eyes. Mia had full legs and was wearing black stockings. Afraid she was showing too much and might give him ideas, she quietly tugged at her skirt, but it backfired.
I choose you first.
Pee on yourself. Pee on yourself.
Mia struggled desperately, but she was quickly dragged out. Maya rushed to the door and pounded on it, but it was locked tight. Hearing the blood-curdling screams outside, the two girls assumed Mia was already dead. But the next second, the bald man shoved Mia back in, and he was shaking his hands in disgust, gagging like he was about to vomit. Mia had been so terrified, she'd actually wet herself. That physical reality triggered his germ phobia hard. He didn't want to touch this dirty girl anymore, but it gave the other two an idea, a way to survive. They quickly wet their own pants, hoping he'd find them repulsive too. But the bald man just marched them into the bathroom, scolding them, no peeing themselves allowed.
That you are sacred food, and I promise not to bother you again.
The phrase sacred food made the girls think of human sacrifice. Was he some kind of cult member, planning to offer them to a dark god? The more they thought about it, the more terrified they became. Just then, they heard the click of high heels outside the door. All three rushed to peek through the crack. A woman was pacing back and forth. They cried out for help, thrilled.
We're here! Help us! We're in here!
Finally, rescue. But when the door opened, their faces went pale with confusion.
Don't worry, I'll talk to him. He listens to me.
Looking at this elegant, gentle woman, a sinking feeling came over them. Was the bald man playing some kind of roleplay? But his characters were getting stranger and stranger. That night, he changed clothes again and sat in the doorway, acting like a simple-minded child.
I have red socks.
What?
Someone's coming for you.
How old are you?
9?
Anna finally understood. This wasn't roleplay, this was multiple personality disorder. The bald man was switching personalities to visit them. What they didn't know, he had 23 different personalities, and when he switched, his thoughts and physical abilities changed too. This time, a child personality had emerged, wide-eyed, timid, clearly not all there mentally. Anna quickly tried to fool him. She told him the bald man's personality needed to eat a little boy, and his would be the best. The boy took the bait instantly and burst into tears. Anna pressed her advantage, begging him to help all three of them escape, but the boy seemed terrified of the bald man.
You can't get out of here! I have to blow my nose.
No, please don't talk!
Multiple personality disorder is a severe psychological condition, and its sufferers often torture people in bizarre, cruel ways. The girls were terrified he'd split into a butcher, then they'd be dead for sure. Driven by fear, the three started tapping on the walls, searching for a weak spot to dig through, but every wall was thick. On a whim, Maya started tapping the ceiling. To their surprise, it sounded hollow, so she grabbed her high heel and started pounding upward. Sure enough, she broke through, but there was a layer of rebar reinforcing it. She'd have to make a bigger hole to see what was above. Just then, the little boy came back. Hearing the pounding, he pushed at the door. The other two braced it shut. Maya worked faster, finally breaking through the ceiling. It turned out to be a ventilation shaft. After pulling off the rebar cover, she climbed up with everything she had. Suddenly it went quiet outside. The two thought the boy had left, but the next second, the door burst open with massive force. The boy had switched personalities, back into the germophobic kidnapper. Luckily, Maya had already escaped. She crawled quickly through the duct, but at the end of it was a row of cabinets. Seeing the bald man coming, Maya quickly hid inside. He ran right past her, shouting. Maya let out a sigh of relief, but the next second,
I thought I lost you. Would you step outside, please?
Maya didn't dare defy him. She stepped out of the cabinet obediently. He didn't punish her. He just stared at her with dark, heavy eyes.
Get your sweater. It's ruined. It's dirty. Remove it.
Swallowing her humiliation, Maya took off her sweater. Then she was locked in a storage room, and he welded the door shut from outside. It seemed he was going to starve her to death. After that, he returned to the cell and stared at the ceiling again. He ordered the other two to take off their skirts, so they'd have to stay on the bed. Anna suddenly realized he'd switched personalities again, and this one might be a pedophile, trying to keep them like pets. Sure enough, The next day, he came in to dress the two girls up. He combed their hair and even gave each of them a flower. That eerie calm, that creepy gentleness, made them more afraid than ever. Then they were taken out to the living room. He wanted to treat them to something different. He sliced a piece of bread, then pulled out a jar of raw lard and spread it on. Anna felt sick, swallowing hard. If they didn't fight back now, they'd have to eat that greasy slice of bread. After exchanging a look, Mia quietly picked up a chair and slowly crept toward him.
Go to your room. Shut the door. Do it now.
Facing his knife, Anna had no choice but to obey. Mia made it out the door, thinking she'd found a way out, but it was just another sealed room. She frantically searched for something to defend herself, but he was already inside.
You've always been protected. You've never truly suffered.
This personality seemed to be a tragic poet, one who despised the privileged and pampered. His way of punishing them was with the blade. The only one who hadn't been punished was Anna, but every moment felt like an eternity, because the bald man was lying next to her, holding her tight as he slept, and his hands were wandering. Anna was too scared to move a muscle. Then he suddenly sat up and shyly asked for just a kiss.
Can I kiss you? I mean, I don't know much about kissing though.
Yeah.
He was so worked up he could barely breathe, and after the kiss, he gazed at her lovingly. Anna figured out, this personality must be some love-struck young guy.
Am I a good kisser?
Her response thrilled him. He said he had a CD player by his window, and one day they'd listen to music together. The moment Anna heard window, she saw her chance. She quickly asked if they could listen to music right now, but he switched personalities in a flash. Back to the cold, germophobic creep. Seeing how close he was to Anna, he turned away in disgust and locked her in. Anna thought all hope was lost, but that night, the love-struck personality returned. He quietly opened the door and led her to his bedroom. Anna thought she was finally going to escape, but then she discovered, the so-called window was just painted on paper.
Did you think it was a real window? So you could leave?
Realizing her intentions, he turned cold in an instant. Though this body held 23 different personalities, they all shared one core belief. Anna and the other two girls were there for their amusement. No matter which personality was in charge, they all followed one rule: never let them leave. Luckily, lust clouds judgment. Anna clung to the love-struck personality's arm, whispering sweet promises and eternal devotion. For a freak with 23 souls, such a passionate confession sent him floating on air. He forgot all about his earlier anger. He showed off his walkie-talkie. When Anna picked it up, she realized, this thing was real. She flipped it on and started calling for help. This enraged the child personality, who tried to grab it back. Anna kept screaming for help. The child ran out in fear, but the next second, he switched to the dark personality, who coldly snatched the walkie-talkie back and sent her to her room. That's when Anna spotted a nail on the wall. She grabbed it and hid it away. Meanwhile, a therapist was receiving urgent emails from several of his kinder personalities. The designer personality had always been proactive about seeking therapy, sharing information about every personality. But the dark personality, wanting to stop the host, had disguised himself as the designer to mislead the doctor. This experienced therapist saw through him immediately, demanding to know who he really was. At first, he resisted, but she wasn't buying his act.
I'm gonna ask again. To whom am I speaking with now?
Dr. Fletcher.
I think I'm talking to Dennis.
His disguise exposed, he fell silent, because he had a fetish for watching young girls dance naked. The main personality had been blocking him from taking control, so he had to impersonate others to act. But the moment he came in, he wiped chocolate off his hands twice, exposing his germ phobia. Even then, he refused to admit who he was, insisting he was the designer, even smearing chocolate on himself to prove he didn't have a germ phobia. Until the therapist said she could empathize with him. She believed his personality had emerged to protect the host, that he carried a heavy responsibility. Lately, he and the female personality had been warning that the host was about to awaken a 24th personality, the Beast. This beast could climb walls and had skin as tough as a rhinoceros. He could destroy anything, but the therapist didn't think that made them evil. On the contrary, it showed they had a sense of duty. Her words moved him deeply. He finally dropped his mask. He confessed that those who believed in the beast had always been treated as outcasts, but he believed only the strong, evil personalities could truly protect the host. His views alarmed the therapist. These personalities were dangerous. That night, she went to his home to try to talk him out of it. He pretended to agree and invited her inside. He'd once read a case study of hers. A German woman blind for 10 years, diagnosed with multiple personalities. 3 of her personalities had regained sight. He was using this case to tell her his 24th, ultimate personality was coming.
The beast is real. You were right about everything.
What does he look like?
He's much bigger than I am.
And the terrifying part? The beast needed to feed on young people. The therapist was shaken. She made an excuse to use the bathroom. On the way, she spotted several locked doors. Curious, she opened one, and froze. Mia, her shirt gone, was lying on the floor, barely alive. The moment she saw the therapist, Mia grabbed at her like a lifeline, begging for help.
Please help me.
But suddenly, the dark personality appeared and slammed the iron door shut. In his eyes, ordinary people who couldn't unlock the body's potential were nothing but food for the beast. The therapist pleaded with him. This was wrong. What he was doing was a crime. But he was too far gone. He drugged her and locked her up alone. When she woke, she climbed onto the desk and scribbled a few urgent lines on paper. Meanwhile, the three girls realized time was running out. Each searched her room for a way to escape. Maya found a wire hanger. She bent it straight and slipped it through the door crack, trying to open the latch. Anna used her hidden nail to pick her lock, but the outer door wouldn't budge. She turned to the computer to contact the outside world, but there was no internet. Then she noticed 23 video files on the desktop, one for each personality. A historian, a diabetic, a designer, and more, each totally different. Meanwhile, the dark personality bought a bouquet and headed out to summon the ultimate personality. He rushed to the subway station and laid the flowers on the ground. His father had died in a train accident. That's what had created the violent personalities in the first place. He boarded the train, stripped off all his clothes, and lay face down on the floor. When he stood back up, he was a completely different being. He climbed onto the roof of the train with ease, then leapt off, moving through the city at superhuman speed.
It's an animal! He goes like this if there's a coyote or something.
Soon the beast reached home. The therapist realized he was out of control and grabbed a knife to defend herself. But the man before her now had bulging veins and swollen muscles. His first target was her. Even with the knife in hand, the blade snapped without leaving a scratch. His massive arms wrapped around her and began to squeeze. With a sickening crack, the therapist was crushed to death. Anna still had no idea what was happening. From the videos, she'd found out where the keys were kept. Once she had them, she went to find the others, but found Mia with her stomach torn open. Fighting back tears, Anna went to Maya's room.
Let's go.
She crept closer, and saw the beast eating Maya's organs raw. Horrified, she turned and ran for her life. But before she could open the door, the beast smashed through the lock with terrifying strength. In that desperate moment, Anna saw the note the therapist had left behind. Say his name, Kevin Wendell Crumb. But when she turned, she saw it. The beast was crawling up the smooth wall like a lizard. Her mouth fell open in horror. Trembling, she shouted his full name.
Kevin Wendell Crumb!
Back when the bald man was a child, his mother would scream his full name in anger. The abuse he'd suffered had haunted him his entire life.
Kevin Wendell Crumb! You made a mess! Get out here!
The trick worked. The main personality, Kevin, was summoned. Draped in a blanket, he stepped out of the room, remembering nothing of what he'd done. He saw blood everywhere, and the therapist's body on the floor. He understood. His other personalities had been killing innocent people. To stop the nightmare, he told Anna where his shotgun was and begged her to kill him. Only if his body died could this twisted horror finally end. But before Anna could act, the 23 personalities started switching uncontrollably. In less than a minute, more than 10 identities took turns inhabiting his body. Men, women, young, old, all pleading with her not to pull the trigger, because none of them wanted to die. Then the dark personality took over. He'd put Kevin to sleep for good. Now the evil ones were in charge. The beast needed 10 to 12 young people per meal, and Anna was the perfect next course. Terrified, Anna grabbed the shotgun and ran, making her way to where the bullets were hidden. But the beast was already on her trail, and caught up in no time, tearing at her clothes. Fumbling, she loaded the shotgun and ran on bloody, clawed legs, until she hit a dead end. In desperation, she fired at the beast, and missed. He moved like Spider-Man, leaping along the walls, smashing every light bulb as he went. Anna backed into an iron cage and fired 2 more shots as he closed in. But the bullets didn't kill him. They only pushed him further, unleashing even more power. Gritting his teeth, he bent the iron bars apart with his bare hands. Anna's breath caught in her throat. She was sure she was about to die. But just as the beast was about to break in, he stopped. He'd noticed the scars crisscrossing her body.
Your heart is pure. Rejoice! The broken are the more evolved.
Anna's past had been tragic, too. As a child, her father and uncle often took her hunting. She'd learned how to outwit wild animals. One day, her uncle took her deep into the woods, pretending it was a hunting trip. He made her take off her clothes and molested her. From that day on, young Anna wanted him dead. She once raised a shotgun at him, but couldn't fire. He took it from her. Soon after, her father died from a sudden heart attack, and Anna was left in her uncle's hands. That trauma twisted something inside her. The beast recognized her as one of his own. Someone scarred, someone broken. He decided to spare her, and slowly walked away. Not long after, an old man found Anna and let her out. Turns out, they'd been beneath a zoo all along, the very place where the beast's nature had been born. Soon, the police found all the victims' bodies, but the killer was still at large. Even at the end, the bald man was never caught. And that's it for today's video. See you in the next one.